GearNetwork.com.
The following is a presentation of the Gear Radio Network.
This is the Listen In Podcast with your hosts, John Cimino and Brandon Gorell, here on the Gear Radio Network.
Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to Listen In, the podcast. Mercifully, we are back, and you know what? I could not settle for the fact. It burned me, Brandon. It burned me.
Yeah.
We had only done 13 podcasts.
Yeah, it's been a rough year.
We're
doing home, but it's just the motivation factor is pretty low.
That's also true. But hey, I'm motivated to tell everybody here. My name is John Cimino, and I am JC Money. And joining me over there, yeah, I got it right this time, over there, Mr. Brandon Gorell, my eyesore. Brandon, say hello.
Hello.
All right, we're going to roll right into it, man.
The newly christened 40-year-old host.
The newly christened 40-year-old host. That's right. And
welcome to the club.
I was going to actually start off and make mention of that. I got a Corona premiere.
Oh.
From one BLTD's Mr. Perez.
Wow.
So I'm going to open that up because, yes, as you mentioned, Brandon, I'm in the fucking 40s club, man. So cheers to you.
Yeah. Here's a clothespin.
There you go. That works.
Cheers. I'm drinking water.
Happy to hear. But Brandon, what the hell, man? What you been up to?
Yeah.
How the hell have you been?
Good, man. Good. Just tired. I think I was telling you this the other day. When you hit 40, like 90% of the time when people ask you how you're doing, you're just kind of like tired. Like you can get a good night's sleep, get off to a good start in the day, might even get a good workout in the mid-afternoon, feel really good. And then like once like 5 o'clock rolls around, it's like, whew, there's a lot of sighing going on. I'm just like all the time. I'm around the kids and I'm just like, and they're like, "You all right?" I'm like, "Just tired."
Yeah. No,
I spend an eternity in being tired, man.
It's, you know what? It's true. And I may have started experiencing that just a little earlier than 40, but
yeah,
certainly I am with you.
It steps up, man. It steps up. I'm in year 41. So
I will say this though, the age of 40, I feel, and maybe I'm saying this being very biased because I am now there, but I feel like the age of 40 in 1985 was like everybody was gray and old, and it felt like that. And I have some gray in my beard, but for the most part, still intact. I don't feel 40. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like 40 back then, when we were kids, is much older than the 40 that you and I are while you're I don't know.
40-year-old factory workers. There's a lot more blue collar, like stress, like
that is very true.
Home that want everything, and you like barely make, but when you get done paying bills and like getting everything for the kids, you got like 2 nickels to rub together. So that makes you age quick.
Yeah, I guess you know what, you're absolutely right.
You work at IT and you work from home, especially during this pandemic. You're just kind of like, I work from home every day.
I guess it's the greatest thing. But
it is.
I will tell you, I feel physically as a 40-year-old.
Yeah.
I started wrestling, pro wrestling, when I was 19 years old, and I had a pretty good run, I feel. And being a smaller guy, it takes its toll. But I can tell you right now, at 40, despite the fact that I just devoured 10 chicken wings,
healthy, man.
Just about an hour or so before the podcast, I am
quarter of your age. That's totally perfect.
What's that?
It's a quarter of your age. That's totally acceptable.
There was 10 yesterday too, but
you're halfway there. But you're doing it by day, so.
Well, yes, I hit it pretty hard in the gym. But physically, I feel like I'm in much better shape now than I was back then. And I think a lot of that has to do with the intermittent fasting and all that stuff. But anyways, for everybody that was kind enough to shoot me a message, shoot me a tweet, and whatever, wishing me a happy birthday. It was a wonderful birthday, very, very low key, very apropos for 2020. In fact, the lesson to be learned here, my daughter Emma, whose birthday was in March at the beginning of the pandemic, like literally when the first case in Monroe County hit, was on the day of her 7th birthday party. And I had spent money that at the time I did not have, but I spent money on a cake for the party. I spent money on food for the party. I spent money on the presents and all that stuff. And then we get the first case and everybody's like, oh, well, yeah, we're not coming. Everybody still brought the gifts or whatever. But to explain to a 7-year-old kid, on the day of your party, we got to cancel your party. Nobody's coming.
Right.
Fortunately, she's still 7 right now, closing in on 8. But as my birthday approached, she says to me, Dad, are you going to have a party for your birthday? Is Brandon coming over? Are you going to have Uncle Sam come over? I said, no, honey, I'm not having a party for my birthday.
We're talking about your actual Uncle Sam, not the tax collector. He's not.
Yes, no. He came and now he's finally gone. Thankfully,
you're too old for the draft.
As of this past April, he's finally gone. Thankfully, that's a shoot, brother. But she says, is anybody going to come over for your birthday? I said no. She says, why not? I was like, honey, just like yours. It was the coronavirus. That we're going to be
coronavirus.
We're going to be
its own song.
Yes, indeed. It should get its own song. But I told her that I wasn't going to do that for the same reason that her birthday. So I think for her now, it finally it made her feel a little better because somebody else had their birthday party too for the same reason. So I conceded that the Memorial Day gathering that I will do in 5 months. We have 5 months now, right? Yeah. Whatever.
We're all hopefully vaccinated.
Yeah, hopefully by then. But at the very least, it'll be outside. Yeah. My inner circle's small anyways, but it's going to be a makeup party themed, birthday party themed. I'm going to get the cake and all that shit too.
Yeah.
For it, just, more for her than me. But I seriously don't care that I turned 40, but people.
No, I didn't make a huge deal. I mean, we all went camping for my 40th after my actual 40th. I went by myself, my 40th, and just camped for a weekend by myself, which was pretty great.
Well, with an August birthday, later, do that. I got a December birthday, so I get dick. I guess it's just
if you do winter camp.
What's that?
You could do winter camping. It's cold as shit, but it can be fun.
It might not be a bad idea.
Yeah. That's not camping outdoors. Anyways.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, my daughter got it too, man. She got the double whammy because we were supposed to go to Billie Eilish, and we were kind of on this fence where I was I spent almost $900 on these tickets.
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
But the pandemic is raging out of control right now. I'm like, what am I going to do? Because it was in Brooklyn. So that was the epicenter of where everything's going down. I was like, if they have the concert and I don't go, I get nothing. I was like, but I don't need to really risk getting sick either, because we didn't know what it was at the time, and we just knew it was making a lot of people sick, and it was very contagious, and people died. So we were like, so fortunately, someone else adulted for me. The governor shut down everything in the state 2 days before the show. Actually, it was day before the show. Everything got shut down, and schools, everything. So I was off the hook with that, and it was in postponed status up until Friday last week. They finally canceled it. And I was like, hallelujah. We have closure on this. I can get my money back. Wrong-o. Because on December 2nd, StubHub conveniently changed their policy again to say that now canceled and postponed events get a nice 120% credit on their StubHub account that has to be used by December 2021.
What?
Yeah. So I have over $1,000 in credit
on a StubHub
account for events that aren't even happening.
That may or may not even happen at all.
Yeah, I'm assuming there is going to be a lot of lawsuits coming soon.
That's got to be, yeah. That I'm sure that's going to have to change because that makes no sense. How the hell are you going to get away with doing that when you don't even know?
It pissed me off because so when it got postponed, they specifically put in the policy that canceled events we will do refunds for canceled events, but there was very few canceled in the beginning. And then as bands started to reschedule, things were kind of like, okay, we're not going to get hit that hard. But then there was some pretty big acts that just finally said, you know what, it doesn't seem possible that I'm going to be able to do an arena tour this year because arena tours are in the wintertime. So it would be, most likely stadiums, and then stadiums are going to be hosting sporting events. So it's going to be real tough, because those schedules are up the air. It's going to be really hard to schedule, a tour if you haven't already, put in your dates. So a bunch of them canceled, and I think StubHub got wind of it because, of course, rich people, they continue to get rich, not because they're really smart, that just they're really good at screwing everyone, the suckers like us, the idiots.
I'll tell you, if there's anything I've learned over the past 4 years, it's that very fact right there.
Yeah, exactly. So it was really frustrating because like my daughter was excited on Friday. I was like, we're going to get a refund. And I says, I'll give you half of that back as birthday, to spend. I was like, we can spend, for birthday. She's like, I don't really need all of it. She's like, I just want new AirPods because she can't find hers. And then she said that she wanted, a couple of little things, nothing big. And I was like, all right. So then I was like, I just got to wait for the refund. And then I got that news and I was like, fuck. So when we were out today, I bought her some AirPods. So she's super happy about that.
All right. Well, that's good.
She didn't expect it. We had some errands to run and we were getting Christmas gifts for her friend. And I was just like, which ones? I was like, you don't want the pros, right? And she's like, no, I just want the basic ones. She's like, whatever is cheapest, it doesn't matter.
Speaking of unexpected, I am reminded of the freaking gift that was delivered to me.
Yeah.
And I do want to share this story because I made quite a hoopla about it on social media because legitimately I had no fucking idea who sent this to me. So on the day before my birthday, I think it was. Yeah, it was December 4th. Yep. I get this package to my door and I hear, the Amazon driver.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting a thing. All legitimately 100% of my Christmas shopping is done. I have nothing left to buy.
Yeah.
I didn't order shit on Amazon.
Isn't that the worst?
To my knowledge, right?
I hate when I get those UPS emails that says you got a package on the way, and I'm like, I didn't fucking order anything.
Yeah, right?
And it ends up being from like my company or somebody else. I'm like, oh, okay.
So I order. So I open the door and I take a look and I see, this. It's like the bigger Amazon envelopes, but there's a box in there.
Yeah.
And I'm, so okay, well, maybe my mother sent me something for my birthday. I don't know. Maybe whatever. I open the box. I open the envelope and pull out this box. There is no gift receipt, and there is no note in there. Just an item, and the item is a potato cutter, specifically a French fry cutter. So you take the potato, you just make this thing. You open it up, you stick the potato in, thump. You got fries, right?
Yeah.
I sit here and I'm looking at this thing, me being me, and I'm like, I'm staring at this. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Who sent me this?
At least you weren't expecting a PS5 and got that, like other people that got the toilet paper and all that other bullshit in the UK.
Very true. So I start messaging around to the people that I think might have sent me something. You were one of them. Yeah. I sent two other people whom I would have believed to have sent me this thing. And literally all of you were like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, if I'm going to give you something, I'm just going to give it to you. I'm going to present it to you.
Yeah.
Like, face to face. I'm not going to send it to you like that. Well, one of them lives out of state, so she couldn't do it. But she laughed and was like, That's brilliant. Like, I wish I did that. I wish I could claim that. But, you know, it's like, oh, okay, whatever. So all the while, there's a message chain that goes on between myself and members of my family. And my brother posted just a random picture of French fries. And I thought nothing of it. This was a day before the item came to me.
Yeah.
So I had no idea. I was already celebrating post work. My birthday weekend lasted from Friday morning all the way until Wednesday morning. You know, that's my birthday weekend. So I was already kind of solid. So I was legit baffled, and I put it out on social media. I don't know. I was looking at. I got brushing scams on there. I'm like, oh, is this a brushing scam? You know, where you know where the you know these product makers just randomly send something off of a list, a distro list, and in hopes that you give them 5 stars and help them, whatever. Innocent scam, but whatever. Yeah. So I'm thinking I'm a victim of that.
Yeah.
So my brother FaceTimes me on my birthday, and my youngest daughter's kind of being a youngest daughter and being a little bit of a challenge, and she needed to have a bath and all that stuff. So I got the bath running. My brother tends to call at the most appropriate times ever. So while I'm busy handling Emma, I said, "Here, talk to Gianna," and I gave the FaceTime to my daughter. Yeah. And so Gianna and him are talking, and all of a sudden I hear Gianna start to laugh a lot. And she's like, "Oh my God, he's been going crazy about that thing." And I kind of turn around, what the hell is she talking about? So now she hands the phone back to me. She goes, "Dad, you might want to hear what Uncle Dan has to say." And I'm like, "No," I said, "No, I don't want to hear what he has to fucking say." You know, it's just a happy birthday, whatever. I picked it. I looked at it. He goes, "Hey, did you like your present?" And I was like, "What present? What are you talking about?" He's like, "Did you get a bag of potatoes or something, man? You know, it might come in handy for that thing." And I was like, "Wait a minute. It was you?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "You fucking sent me that?" He goes, "Dude, what did you think I meant when I posted the picture of the French fries?" I'm like, "I don't fucking, dude, I said I had no idea what the hell that meant. You just post random dumb shit." Like, and mind you, now I'm getting just as animated as I am right now explaining this to you. Yeah. But I'm doing that with him. And now he's on the other end of this phone. He's laughing and turning red. And I happen to look in the living room. Here's my daughter laughing at me. And she's like, "Oh my God, Dad, you calm down? Like, what's the matter?" And I'm like, "No, do you know how long I've been sitting here stewing about this thing, wondering what the hell, who in the hell would send me a potato cutter for one?" And then I realized it's the game, and now I have 2 months to think of something just as random and obscure to send him in response for his birthday. So
I got some ideas. I'll share them offline.
Okay, you can share them offline. I've also solicited some others. So I want to say to my brother, Dan, it's probably one and only time you're ever going to get a shout out on my podcast. But, thank you for the gift, and fuck you. All right. So it was a good gift. It was fine. I got a good laugh out of it. All right.
Did you make any fries, though? That's the question.
I did make fries.
Good.
I did. I did make fries. I did make fries. I could have oiled them just a little bit more. I spray oiled them just a little bit because I wasn't sure, but definitely need a little more there. But came out good, came out fresh, and I still have like 3 or 4.
Peel them, or do you just slam them in? Do you peel them or just slam them in?
Peel them. I peeled them and then I washed them. Okay. Threw them in the cutter. Preheated the air fryer. Threw it in the air fryer for, I think.
You get them like stadium fries with the skins on them, man. Those things are yum.
Probably do that after
try them out.
I'll do that for lunch tomorrow. Actually, no. Lunch tomorrow. I got to run. I'm going to run. It's leg day tomorrow, so I get to do that. It's your favorite. Your favorite day, I know.
Yeah.
But, I'm getting back into the groove, into the swing of things.
I got my cage. I got to get together. It finally came.
You're
Came in
working
2 boxes. So I got for Christmas an early Christmas gift from my girlfriend. She got me the half cage rack. So it's a big guy. It's got pull up bars on top, and it's got like the weight protectors.
Yes.
Pins inside there. You can adjust those to adjust your rack. And you can do squats on them, but you can also do bench. You just work your bench.
Okay. Yeah.
It's got pegs on the side to hang your weight plates with.
Nice.
And there's little resistance band pins that you can put along the bottom of them, so you can use resistance band on the side. And then obviously I still have the pulley still, so I can actually just use the top where the pull-up bar is. So
totally gonna have to try that out.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get a bench. You can have my bench.
Oh, I'll take your bench. Yeah, I will absolutely take that.
Take the French curl stuff.
I have a spot for it in the basement now.
Yeah, you're just going to have to get a bar and some weights, but
oh yeah, that'll come in time. Right now, Casa, the former Gear Network studio, the former Champs Bar and Grill, or whatever the fuck I called it back in 2012.
Champions,
highly motivated champions. That's right. Yeah. Highly motivated. It's going to be reconstructed. It's going to be wonderful, especially once we start having gatherings down there again. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
But awesome.
So yeah, I got to put it together though. It came in 2 boxes. Like it came in 2 separate shipments too. And the first one I didn't even know they shipped. Came on Tuesday. It was a smaller box. I was like, that can't be it. And then I got the notice from Amazon that it shipped through FedEx, and I was like, oh, cool. It was supposed to come Wednesday, and then they had a shipping delay. So, they had it on the truck Wednesday. Apparently, the label was so damaged that they had to bring it back because they couldn't scan it. And then they basically rewrapped it in like plastic and then put a new label over it. So they brought that on Thursday, and I dragged that sucker. It was like 230 pounds for the box. Just laying in my driveway next to my garage door. I was like, Jesus, I had to lug that in by myself because I just had the kids with me, and I was already feeling weak because I'd been like in bed with a stomach bug since Tuesday.
Ooh.
So I'm like, Thursday, I was just finally like able to get up and get around. I still was off from work. I took a comp day, and I got up like mid-afternoon and like tried to kind of like have some normalcy. So I got up and caught up on my emails, and then I watched a couple training videos while I was, just kind of trying to get my wits about me and just kind of, try to return somewhat to normal, but didn't actually work. And then Friday was like the first day I felt kind of okay. Today's the best I've felt since last Tuesday. So,
well, that's good.
It's
very good.
It's been a rough journey.
Glad to hear you're on the mend. Glad to hear.
That's why we didn't do it last night either. Like,
no, it's fine. It's fine.
I'd worked so much, like I'd actually worked the full day, and like I don't know, I just felt like I got pretty worn pretty quick.
Well, I'll tell you what. It actually worked out good because I didn't have a whole lot to talk about. It really, this whole segment probably would have been the whole podcast if we had done this. If we had done this yesterday, but we do have the just kind of the core, sticking to sports, if you will, on Listen In this week. We have an upset to talk about in the world of the Professional Football League. Wow. In the world of professional football, the National Football League, the Washington football team defeats the Pittsburgh Steelers. We will talk a little bit more about this after we take a quick commercial break, because we went a little long on this segment. So let's take a quick commercial break right now and listen to it. Please just hear the commercials out. It helps us out. Thank you very much. This is the Listen to Podcast on the Gear Radio Network.
What's up, Rock Soldiers? This is Robbie Vegas coming at you from the All Bets Are Off podcast. If you are into horror movies, the paranormal, professional wrestling, or music, this is the place for you. We're bringing you the latest and greatest interviews in all of the above: music, horror, and of course, professional wrestling. So tune in on the Gear Network. Check out All Bets Are Off. Rate us, like us, subscribe to us, leave us your comments, tell us what you think. And we'll catch you soon on the All Bets Are Off podcast, dropping every Sunday at noon.
And we are back. Did you listen to the commercials? If you did, thank you. If you didn't, fuck you. John Sabino here, Brandon Gorell there. And speaking of sticking to sports, but sticking to the gimmick, Brandon, over the commercial break, I opened a pack of NBA cards. Would you like to see what I have?
Yes, I would, sir.
All right. We're going to start it off really quickly. Dennis Rodman.
Oh, the worm.
The worm.
That's a player of the year card.
His Pistons there. We got Mark Eaton right here.
Oh, yeah.
Mean Mark Eaton. Terry Porter.
All right.
For those that need a reminder, we are on a search. We are on a hunt for the Mark Jackson card with the Menendez brothers.
Yeah.
This is from the series that it was in, and yeah. Jim Paxson, Brandon.
Oh yeah. Jim Paxson.
James Joseph Paxson. It says on the back of the cards, they list their full names and everything.
Yeah.
Back there, like they didn't play. These were good cards. Sidney Green of the Orlando Magic.
Okay.
Mark Aguirre? Mark Anthony Aguirre.
Mark Aguirre.
Aguirre.
Yeah, that's Aguirre.
I can't even.
I remember hearing all those names during the Pistons runs, man, when I was watching them against the Celtics and those brawls. I remember all those guys.
Remember John Bagley?
I do. Reserve.
Sedale, threat.
All right, Sedale 3. Yeah, I remember him.
He was a real threat. Ken Norman.
Yeah, I don't know about Ken Norman.
I don't know him. Otis Thorpe. I do remember hearing this name.
Do you remember Otis Thorpe?
Mitchell Wiggins. I can't say I remember him.
No.
Here's I've hit the Houston Rockets section of the of the card packets.
Eric Floyd. I do remember him.
Tom Garrett. Oh, okay. Back with him. Maybe you recognize this guy.
Whoa, Larry Brown.
One of his 17,337 stops as a coach.
And I was sitting there, and there's Larry Brown's crank in my face.
Eddie Lee Wilkins. I remember that one.
The classic Rome.
That was freaking hilarious. So we'll see. Time permits, we'll open up another pack.
All right.
Later on in the episode. But all right,
Brandon,
back to sports. What we were talking about before we left. Pittsburgh loses their first game mercifully. We are not going to have a 16-0 and an 0-16 in the same season.
That goes another missed field goal.
Oh, another missed field goal?
Yeah, Cowboys.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
He's kicked one right. He's kicked one left.
There we go. Now he just maybe kicks one center one of these times.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh loses the first game of the season to the Washington football team. Final score of 23-17. Brandon Big Ben Roethlisberger, 33 of 53, 305 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Alex Smith, 31 of 46. It says 29. It says 29 yards on here. That is not there. 296 yards actually. I don't know.
Yeah,
I must have been typing too fast. And 1 touchdown. Pittsburgh, Brandon, now 11-1. They're still in control of the lone bye. Again, the playoff format has changed this year. There is only 1 bye per conference. So far, Pittsburgh is still in the lead with that, but they are tied with Kansas City record-wise. And they play Buffalo next. Washington, believe it or not, has a 5-2 record, which is good enough to be tied for first in the NFC.
With the New York Giants.
With the New York football
Fresh
Giants.
off their upset, too.
So,
the Seahawks.
I know. I guess I should have wrote about that one.
It's a big upset. I could bring
that one up there after we talk about this if we want. But, Brandon, let's first start with Pittsburgh. Should Pittsburgh be worried now? Or is this loss actually good for them because now they do not have the pressure to try to remain unbeaten and run the table? Should Pittsburgh be worried as they head into Buffalo to play a very hot Buffalo Bills team?
What?
There we go, huh? Are you there?
It started muting on its own. I wasn't even touching anything.
That is crazy. Yeah, I just I switched the view here for you, and it muted, and I was like, it said you muted, not me, but.
Anyway. Yeah, so the host muted me.
Oh, that's weird. I did not do that, but I apologize. Anyways, go ahead, my man.
Yeah, so I'm not worried about Pittsburgh. I think as far as I think Pittsburgh's biggest Achilles heel right now is their own run game. Their defense is solid. I mean, they lead the league in sacks again. Their secondaries are a bunch of ball hawks. Big Ben's getting the ball out. He's found a new weapon in Chase Claypool. It seems like he gets a top receiver. League tries to figure that guy out, and then he gets a new one. So he went from Antonio Brown to Juju, and now Juju was the man, and now all of a sudden Chase Claypool's getting all the balls, and he just seems to be playing better than he has in past. He's not turning the ball over very much. He's not getting sacked a lot. Their line's playing pretty good. Mike Tomlin's a hell of a coach. So I don't think that they should be worried. They had a pretty upsetting schedule. They had to play three games in a row, and their one was moved all over the place. It was canceled, or it was postponed till Monday. Then it was postponed till Tuesday, and then they ended up playing Wednesday afternoon. And then they played the Wednesday game, and then back the following Monday night. So they had a short rest on it and everything too. And there's not a lot of excuse to lose to a 4-7 team, but Washington's got a pretty good defense, and they can get after the quarterback, and they can make things miserable for you if you can't get the run game going. Alex Smith is steady. He's not, going to win you a ton of games, but he's also not going to lose you games either. So it was kind of just the right situation. I think they'll have a bounce back game versus Buffalo. I think that's going to be a hell of a game. Yes. I think it's going to be a slugfest. So it's going to be a fun one to watch for sure. To see those teams.
I agree with you.
Because if you're Pittsburgh, you really need to win that game because
right, absolutely.
Kansas City's right there on your heels.
Yep.
Kansas City's got a big meeting coming up with New Orleans too. So will it be New Orleans with Taysom Hill? If it is, could be a long day for New Orleans.
Drew Brees can come back this week. I do recall them saying. Now, Brandon, when you mention Alex Smith, first of all, I think you and I and a lot of people are in agreement. Alex Smith, comeback player of the year. It isn't even close.
No.
After what he's come back.
After what he came back from.
So
have got a game in, sure, but he's taking the reins and he's got the team in playoff contention.
Right.
They're tied.
And for those saying lead. Big Ben, Big Ben should be that. No. Ben's injury was nothing near as catastrophic. I mean, Alex Smith almost had his leg amputated.
Yeah.
That was a legitimate option for him, was to have his leg amputated. So, but speaking of Washington, that's kind of a funny team. They everything that transpired in the offseason with the name change, and also Ron Rivera with his cancer diagnosis and having to work through that. I mean, getting an IV at halftime during one of the games. Beating that, and then Dwayne Haskins being benched, and everything that came with that.
Yeah,
to the injury to the Washington's other quarter. I can't remember what the other guy's name was. It escapes me right now. But it
was the kid Kyle Allen.
Kyle Allen, that's right.
Yeah, that played for Carolina the year before.
Right. That's right. So Kyle Allen gets injured. Alex Smith comes back. He's got Washington 3 wins in a row. Feeling pretty good about themselves. So I ask you, Brandon, with all of this factored in, this podcast past, we used to make fun of Washington, particularly because of Dan Snyder. But is Washington a low-key team for America to be rooting for?
I think so. I mean, I'm not expecting them to be very good. If they get in the playoffs, they're not going anywhere. But it would be nice to see him get in, especially in a division that's just so piss poor right now. I mean, it's almost a guarantee that whoever comes out of the NFC East is going to be under 500. I just don't see either of those teams winning out. So, it'd be a nice story, especially with what, all those things you mentioned and, the stuff that they've had to overcome. But it'll be a short-lived nice story.
Yes, it will. And I will tell you.
Dan Snyder will get on TV and ruin everything.
Right.
I think. I remember why we hate these guys.
Football team for the record.
I do too. I
honestly think they should keep that name. It's a great name. And
the helmets.
I just figured out as we as we were talking here, how to switch the the camera angles here to have me on one side and you on the other. I did that accidentally. Apparently, I must have done something when I muted you because I freaking jacked everything up here. But I figured out the way now, and now I know how to switch views. So it's going to come off kind of funny on
speaker view.
No, not speaker view. It's placing a pin. When I place a pin on myself, it moves me now to the side of the screen where I point this way, and you're in the box next to me, as opposed to when I unpin myself, and now I have to point this way. Box there. Technology, my man. It's a fun thing, as you all know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good. We'll keep an eye on the Washington football team, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the potential 0-16 team, the reason for why I am wearing this jersey today, and will wear this jersey or a Jets jersey every podcast until it happens. After this break, we talk my beloved New York Jets. Stick around with it.
Welcome, everyone. This is Sleazy.
This is the Fat Man.
And the world-famous R-rated podcast is now on the Gear Network. The Wrestling Show with Sleazy and the Fat Man is classless and raunchy commentary on the wrestling business today. Our multiple hosts, including Sleazy the Fat Man, Chip Willett, and NEW owner Travis Kenning, give a differing take on news, rumors, reviews, and previews of the entirety of the worldwide pro wrestling market.
We do what we want, we say what we want, and we don't give a at all. That's just the way we go.
Check us out on the Gear Network.
And we're back. John Cimino here. Brandon Guerrero there. Staring down into oblivion. But, or as Mike Tyson would say back in the day, Bolivia. But, all right, Brandon. It is about that time. It's time to officially go all in and root for the tank.
Yes,
root
sir.
for the 0-16 season. Root for the, and we've been around. We've seen in recent history 2 teams go 0-16. The Detroit Lions, famously thanks to your Green Bay Packers, they were the final nail in that 2008 coffin there. And just a couple of years ago, the Cleveland Browns went 0-16, and we rooted for it. We rooted for it hard.
After they blew it hard that one year.
Right.
Chargers.
They legitimately almost went. I forgot about that. They are a former San Diego Superchargers field goal kick away from being having 2 years of 0-16 seasons.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's impressive.
And Hugh Jackson had his job through all of it.
Well, yes, and Adam Gase is very likely going to keep. But we'll talk about that. I wrote that down. All right, so we know that they suck, and because they suck, they're the thing that they absolutely needed to do is fire Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator. I don't necessarily know that. I mean, the defense was not doing good anyways.
Yeah, but you cannot call an all-out blitz on that play. There's
the old engage 8.
Wow, that was baffling. But I did call it. I call it. I was like, there's still plenty of times for you guys to jets it up. So
yes, you did. Yes, you did. You saved me from the unbelievable place where I was, where I'm like, they're actually going to win this, and somehow I feel like this would be a loss if they did that. The only saving grace for me was that Jacksonville was also winning at that time against Minnesota. So, if they win, that's great. If the Jets win, not so much. Now we really need the Jags to win.
Yeah.
So in this whole Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields sweepstakes thing, I honestly I didn't realize that Sam Darnold was that big of a problem. What's that?
You guys will go and do something stupid like draft Justin Fields, and he'll turn into Dwayne Haskins.
You know what? At that point, Brandon, I think my my allegiance would very much switch if they did something that porous. Although I don't know much about Justin Fields, I hear he's pretty good too.
He's pretty good, but I just think he's a college quarterback.
But
Ohio State has not had a good record when it comes to track record to bringing out quarterbacks. They do really well in college, but they just don't. I mean, Cardale Jones. Now you got Dwayne Haskins. Who's the other one I was thinking about before that? Can't remember now. There was another one.
Ohio State?
Yeah.
Cardale
Can't
Jones,
remember
you
his
said
name.
Dwayne Haskins?
Yeah, I'm thinking before that, though. I can't remember his name. Oh, God.
That's a good one.
I can't remember. But anyways, I mean, he wasn't good, obviously, because he's not in the NFL right now. But
was he before he was before Cardale?
Yeah, he was.
Okay. Let me see. See if I can Google that now because it's bothering me. But anyways, go ahead. The point you were making.
Maybe it's in your pack of NBA hoops. No, it's I don't know. Like that would be a real Jetsy thing to do. Be like, wow, he's got a big arm and he can run a little bit. I'm like, let's pass on Trevor Lawrence. Like, I don't know. Trevor Lawrence looks like
Terrell Pryor.
Terrell Pryor. Yep, that was one. Yep. That was one that was also.
Is that who you're talking about?
No, I still wasn't. I think he was a white dude.
I don't know.
Not remember right now.
JT Barrett?
Maybe. Could be JT Barrett. I have to see him.
Yeah, he didn't go. I'll tell you, he didn't go very far in the NFL at all.
No.
But anyways, we know this is going to be one of the main storylines of the offseason. In terms of what the Jets do with all of their capital and all of their picks and everything they had. I'm here to say that I'm officially all in on the tank, and I will explain why. First, I don't believe that the New York Jets are the right fit for Sam Darnold anymore. I think they've ruined him.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think he's a bad quarterback.
No.
At all. I don't think he's a bad quarterback at all. I would love to have Sam Darnold be the quarterback of my football team. The problem is, I think the Jets have done him dirty, and they've done him wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And so now
they haven't really done much to develop him.
Right.
Haven't set him up in situations are like, oh, you have some playmakers on your offense that you like? We're going to trade them.
Yes, right. Very Adam Gase-like move. I mean, he did this. He pulled this shit in Miami. Look at Jay Ajayi,
Yeah.
But Greg Williams was the first coaching casualty. We saw that. But many feel Gase should be let go. But he does have 2 years. I'm one of them. He has 2 years left on his contract, but he has routinely had issues with his players, his people on the staff, and the aforementioned point of Sam Darnold and his development. He this week just admitted and said as such he failed to develop Sam Darnold, whom, by the way, as a reminder, was the number 3 overall draft pick in the 2018 draft. So the tank for Trevor, ladies and gentlemen, if that last play against the Las Vegas Raiders was no indication, the tank for Trevor is very real.
It's in full effect. I mean, that was really Jetsy. I mean, all out blitz, jump pass, all the way down the field, right into his hands, ball game over.
So
only probably chance at victory over.
Right.
Because who do you have left? You have 4 games left.
4 games left. All against teams that can easily kick the shit out of them. Seattle's next.
Seattle. I don't know, man. Seattle's been playing kind of funky lately.
They've been playing kind of funky, but the Jets. If the Jets win one game and it's against Jamal Adams and the Seattle Seahawks,
you got the Jets, Rams, Browns, and Patriots.
Yeah, it's not a good 4-game stretch on paper. 0-16 is very real, and you know damn well none of those 4 teams are going to want to be the ones to be the one in 1-15. None of them are going to want to. So now, obviously, Brandon, the Jets now at this point, the tank is deliberate. Yeah. Everybody sees it. Everybody knows it. They obviously want Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields. So
180 points for. Oh,
what's that?
180 points scored. That is not even close. Like, no one's even close to that bad. The Giants, I think, are like the next worst at 231, but they've got 5 wins.
Right.
Like 180 points scored. 173 point differential. That's got to be like.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. I'm amusing myself with the pin moving the screens back and forth. So people that are watching the video cast are really going to hate this, but whatever. So the only thing I've come up with 2 scenarios, Brandon, that I think the Jets are going for, but I don't know. I don't know if it's just one of those things where these are dream scenarios or trying to make me and other Jets fans understand the logic behind The Office, which it's been hard to really understand the logic behind The Office with anything, especially since 2011. But these are the scenarios that I have. So I'm going to ask you and see if these make sense to you. Let me just bring this up here. All right. Do you think that they will fire Adam Gase and get someone new with the first overall pick, and as well the other 3 first overall picks between this season and next season as well? And if that doesn't work out early, I'm sorry. I misspoke. Do you think they won't fire Gase? Let him get the draft pick. Let him get the first overall draft. Draft Trevor Lawrence, let's say, and as well they have a second first rounder on top of that. And then if that happens and they go into the season and the Jets start off 0-2 or 0-3, do you see this being a Hugh Jackson Cleveland Browns like situation?
No, he's getting fired at the end of this year. No, he's done at the end of this year.
Okay, so
he's not going to get a start for next year. They're not going to be like, well, let's see if Trevor Lawrence can save you. No, he's done.
You think he's done? So
he's going to be 0-16. He's going to be gone.
The second scenario I had here was, do you think that Adam Gase is the lame duck coach at this point and will be let go, and the Jets will try to entice either a bigger name free agent head coach like Bill Cowher or Jim Harbaugh is rumored every year, or any of the newer crop of prospects like Eric Bieniemy, the Kansas City offensive coordinator, or Robert Saleh.
Yeah, I hope you.
The defensive coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers, to finally try and build something with long-term sustainable success using the Buffalo Bills sort of as an example of that kind of progression upward. The Jets have 4 first-round picks in the next 2 years. What are we looking forward to in terms of that? I'm not saying this as a Jets fan wanting to talk about my team, but genuinely, this is a genuine storyline with multiple different scenarios that this could go in. So what do you think, the non-Jets fan, of these scenarios, and what you think might happen?
Well, what I think is going to happen is they're going to fire Gase after the paint dries on the celebration of the 0-16 record. And then he's gone. And then my gut tells me that they're going to draft Trevor Lawrence, but they're also going to try to trade Darnold for another first round pick. If they can't get a first round, you can get a second round maybe. But if a team really is like struggling at quarterback and they are higher up in the first round, they might be willing to trade that because Darnold does have talent. It won't be like, a top 10 pick, but it could be like, it could be someone like New Orleans Saints. Like maybe they're not sold on Taysom Hill. Maybe they are. I mean, we've watched these few games with Taysom Hill and it took them 4 games to throw a touchdown. They're winning, but they're winning because of their defense, and his gadgetry, but that gadgetry, it only lasts for so long. I mean, we get the whole, nonsense with like the Wildcat. Remember when that took off and everyone was like, oh, we're going to draft all these Wildcat quarterbacks. Got figured out, and then nobody does it. So, it could be that a team like that will, take a shot at it, or, crazy as it may sound, what about a New England, like somebody like that?
It's possible. I would have a very difficult time rooting for him at that.
Right. Obviously, but, especially if he starts doing well. And
well, I want him to do well either way. I just don't want him to do it in New England or Miami.
But I would love to see them give Bieniemy a chance. I think Bieniemy is someone who deserves a shot to coach. I think with the current climate of the way teams are going, you need a strong offensive-minded coach. Defensive minded coaches, they're great, but they'll only get you so far. You need that offensive minded coach. I mean, if you look at the hires that have gone on, it's Cliff Kingsbury in Arizona has turned that team around, offensive guy. Sean McVay, with the Rams, he had the offseason last year, Super Bowl hangover, whatever you want to call it, but he was in the Super Bowl before that. They're looking really strong this year. You look at Matt LaFleur, what he's doing with Green Bay. You look what, Kyle Shanahan did with the 49ers. These are all offensive guys. And they're the ones that seem to be getting the turnaround. Last year's Super Bowl, who was the coach? Offensive guy. It was Andy Reid. He's like kind of the start of that tree, if you want to talk offensive minds. But
yes,
I think they need to go that direction. I don't think Robert Saleh is going to be the solution to turn around that. I mean, the guy who's taken in Cleveland.
I see that, and I raise you Tennessee. Mike Vrabel's a defensive guy.
Yeah, but I don't think they're that good.
And he kind of took over, and Tannehill kind of came there broken.
Yeah, but I think the offensive coordinator and the quarterback coach get a lot more credit for that. I don't think that Tennessee's that good. I think they're overrated. I think they got hot last year. They should have beat Pittsburgh, but they didn't. They got hammered by the Browns this weekend, and I think what they showed is that you get ahead on this team, they will not come back because they cannot use their main moneymaker, which is Derrick Henry.
Right.
You can talk about Tannehill all day, but Tannehill only plays well and only is like as effective as that run game goes.
Right.
That run game shut down and it's up to Tannehill. You see what happened like this past week. Yeah, the score looked closer than it was, but it wasn't that close. I mean, it was 38-3 at the half. So they got Green Bay coming up in a couple of weeks too. If Green Bay puts a pasting on them, again, I still would lead to that offensive coaches. The guy who's coaching Cleveland right now is also an offensive coach. Look what he's done with that team. I mean, they're 8-3.
That's true.
And they're without,
and that's in spite of Odell being
right. I think they're playing better without him.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
But you can look at their strength of victory. They are a pretty weak 8-3 team, but they're 8-3 because they've had poor schedules before and have won 1-0 games. Right. So, the fact that they're where they are, again, is another attribute to offensive coaches. Like, I think it's an offensive coaches league. It shifts imbalances because there was a long while that it was like defensive guys. Because you look at McDermott. McDermott's doing well in Buffalo, but he's a defensive guy.
Right.
You had Belichick. That was part of that. Carroll, same deal.
Flores, Miami.
Yeah, Flores, Ron Rivera, like those guys, but there's a lot more offensive guys. And the way that the game is played right now, like they say that every game's a one-score game.
Yeah.
That's because the offenses are putting up such big numbers right now. It just seems like nobody's ever really out of it.
I do agree because even now as I look over and I see the score of 27-17 right now.
Yeah.
Despite 3:45 left in the fourth, it's still. I remember
2 field goals on that too.
I remember being a time where 17-10 or 17-7 or 17-6 was a big score, a big lead. But again, that's football in the 80s and 90s, and not so much now in the 2020s. But so okay, you know what? Actually, now that we are kind of talking about this and kind of pretty much at the end of the show, but your quick thoughts on the Buffalo Bills. They've kind of been Jekyll and Hyde a little early on, where they would come out kind of full speed and then kind of take the foot off the gas and maybe unintentionally let other teams back in, but they're riding they're riding pretty good since the loss to the Cardinals. Since the Hail Murray.
I mean, it was a Hail Murray,
but like, are these Bills, like, could they really be a Super Bowl team?
I don't know about Super Bowl team, but I think that they are not a one and done team. I don't think they're going to be like, last year when they went in Houston and they blew a big lead and, got knocked out. I think they learned something from that. It's kind of like reminds me of like the Pittsburgh Penguins when Crosby and all those guys, finally they got the team together. They got Crosby, they got Stahl, they got Malkin, they had Fleury, they had all their young guns and everything, and they got out there and they got a real hot start and got into the playoffs for the first time, and then got waxed by a veteran Ottawa team in the first round. And then what they do the next year, they went to the Stanley Cup Finals. They didn't win, but they went the year after and ended up winning, and rest is history from there. But you got to kind of have that loss to kind of grow from it, and I think that they did, and I think that they've improved even more over last year. I could see them in the AFC Championship game. Mm-hmm. My money still is kind of on the Kansas City Chiefs right now. They kind of didn't play great in their last couple games. The Raiders, they had to go down the field and win the game on the last drive. And, they were kind of lackluster against Denver. But division games are always hard. So I don't know. I mean, like, could they get there? Sure. Absolutely. A lot of things could happen, but will they? I'm not sure it's their time yet. But
no,
in the next couple of years,
I think they've got a very, very, and I'm not saying this because I've been, covering them with Ryan, specifically the past 2 years, as co-host on Trust the Podcast. So yes, despite the fact I'm wearing New York Jets stuff, I'm very much a Bills sympathizer now. Have to be. And I will say that this team is far, I think, tougher than I gave them credit for. And just watching them kind of come through in where they're coming through and specifically the development of Josh Allen has just been something to watch. Like, I remember Bills fans just shitting on, them picking him up. And I'm sitting here looking.
I keep telling Jermaine every time, and I'm like, I said Josh Allen was good quarterback.
I mean, right from the get-go, I was like, this guy might not, maybe he might not
wanted Rosen. Remember that shit?
Maybe he might not have, right. Yeah. Maybe he might not have worked in New York or in Cleveland, but in Buffalo.
Yeah.
He could have, it was a good fit for it. And I remember having to, now I've been co-hosting Trust the Podcast with Ryan for the last 3 seasons.
Yeah.
And pretty much all of last season and the season before, I had to tell him, like, dude, this guy's good. Like, give him a chance. Like, look at his development last year to, his first year to the second year to now this year. Now he's finally coming along. He's finally coming along on the Josh Allen bandwagon. So Josh Allen, I know you're not listening. And even though I'm wearing the colors of your BFF, Sam Darnold here, you're A-okay in my book, and I will own one of his jerseys at some point. So, but all right. Well, I think that's going to actually wrap up this edition. Oh no, I lied. Fake news.
Unwrap.
Fake news.
You got to unwrap.
News. Huh?
You got to unwrap.
Unwrap. Another bunch of cards.
Know it.
I forgot. I was going to save. Was debating saving it for the.
No.
For the second,
I get 2, man.
The second edition this week, but I got more. So, okay, here we go. Let's see. Charles Smith of the Clippers. He was the first one.
Okay.
We showed. Tim Hardaway, my man. As the Golden State Warrior.
Rookie card too.
His rookie card. Yes, indeed. Buck Williams.
Okay.
Brandon, I will give you this card if you can pronounce his last name.
Kristoyak.
Kristoyak.
Yeah, I remember Kristoyak.
You can you can have it because I'm pretty sure I have like 2 or 3 in a pile over there. Jeff Hornacek.
Oh, horny.
Of the Phoenix Suns, horny. Eddie Johnson as well of the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
I remember those Suns days. Those were fun times. Randolph Keys, Brandon. What you know about Randolph Keys?
Nothing.
Neither do I. Mark Allaire. Paul Mokeski. Holy shit. Look at this profile picture back here.
Wow. Paul Keen Mokeski. Polish power.
I always think of, I don't know, I hear that and I'm thinking of, shitty 2005 Silverado. Like, hey, Paul Keen driving a Silverado. Anyways, Purvis Ellison, Brandon.
Oh, nervous Purvis.
That was his rookie card. Oh, here's one. Don Nelson. Remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Hard to forget him. Robert Parrish.
Chief.
Yep, his all-star card. And well, it doesn't appear that Mark Jackson is in this pile here. But anyways, Frank Brakowski, the man with the
lot of big Polish guys.
Look at his fucking stash, man.
Oh man, that thing's legends.
We've got John Morton Jr. here.
Okay.
His rookie card. And Christian Welp. All right. Well, that's the end of the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully next time we'll get that elusive Mark Jackson card. Even if I have to goddamn buy the thing on eBay, I will. But I'm convinced it's in one. I'm convinced it's in one of the remaining 10 packs, unopened packs here. And if it's not there, it's in one of the remaining 32 packs downstairs. So,
man,
I've got plenty.
I like those odds. I like them.
Fingers crossed, man. I'm telling you, it's going to be a celebration and a half. But thanks to everybody for tuning in, for listening to us here in the Listen In Podcast. We're going to do this more. We want more and more. We want more content. We will not settle for 13 podcasts a year, and we're not going to settle for 14 either. We will be back. We are going to shoot for later in the week, but definitely, if not later in the week, later in the week. We're shooting for it. So getting some podcasts in there. I would say get your holiday shopping done. Use shopgear.com and all that stuff like I've done for the last 5 years, but we're not an Amazon affiliate anymore, and I didn't renew shopgear.com. So anyways, Brandon, good day to you, sir.
Good day to you as well.
So long, everybody. Good night now. Welcome back, Flavor Flav.
Yeah, boy.
Hang on, one more thing before you go. Remember, listen to our sponsors following this podcast, as that does help this podcast and this network out in a way that we appreciate very, very much. So if you could just ride it out 30 to 60 more seconds after this podcast is over, listen to those commercials, it would be doing us a very, very big solid. And again, we thank you.
This has been a presentation of the Gear Radio Network. For more, log on to gearnetwork.com.